Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. Coming up, we find out whether Operation Impact has had an impact on Grimsby's East Marsh. And we ask your opinions on whether roadworks should be limited to 2-mile stretches. And my guests tonight are Councillor Jane Hilden-King, Deputy Leader, North East Lincolnshire Council, and Julie Burrell from Cuddles Cat Rescue. What's the connection? Well, it has something to do with a game. Welcome to Estuary News. I'm Emma Lingard. Now it's time for the news headlines. Grimsby and Cleethorpes have been set forever on a board game. All will be revealed Wednesday morning when a ship's horn will blast out to officially mark the new edition of the competitive game Monopoly. Cleethorpes Seafront is likely to be the Old Kent Road, but what will be in place of Mayfair and Park Lane? The rumour is that Grimsby Minster and Blundell Park will make an appearance. Promoter Graham Barnes was reluctant to say too much until the unveiling.
We're sure that the board has captured the essence and the spirit of Grimsby and Cleethorpes, from the wonderful seafront here, which will be on the board, to the Minster, to the football club, and the great and good of this wonderful area, this tourist magnet, and much more perhaps important than that, this great area of heritage.
2 new parks have been officially opened in Hull. The green spaces have been created as part of the city's Building Schools for the Future programme at the Bethune and Tilbury school sites. Their names, Dragon Park and Butterfly Park, were suggested by pupils from the schools in a competition. Both parks have been designed to encourage active use by the community.
We did a competition in the local school to name the park, and 2 children have been here today who chose the names for this park and the other one. So Dragon Park is the one that we're standing in now, is called Dragon Park, and one of the reasons that that name was chosen was because there's a little dragon figure which came from Tilbury Primary School, which was here before. So it's really nice to see that something that was in the primary school before is now in the park as well, and that's also inspired the name. So that's been really good. And you know, Kyle, who chose the name Dragon Park, said he remembered playing on that dragon, and he remembered when he was here in primary school. He's now in secondary school, so a different school up the road, and I think that's really nice to be able to bring that through to the park.
And finally, police are keen to talk to 2 women who went to the aid of girls who believed they were being followed by men in white vans. The 2 separate incidents happened in Curtin Lindsey on September the 17th and 23rd. Humberside police are keen to talk to the ladies to establish what happened. Now, as you've just heard there in the news headlines, after months of waiting, tomorrow we'll see a board game being unveiled. We decided to take a look back to February, when the developers first came to the town to make the announcement.
The area is about to be immortalised as it's never been done before. The iconic landmarks are to appear in a game which makes most players extremely competitive. Tomorrow sees the Grimsby and Cleethorpes Monopoly board being launched after months of voting. It was back in February that developers came to set the dice rolling.
A particular television show and a forthcoming movie helped put Grimsby on our radar. There's been some negative press. We feel that the charm of the town is a lot better than what's being given at the moment. So for us, it's a great place to come. We came and done a reconnaissance mission, fell in love with the people, fell in love with the fish and chips, which is always great, and lots of different things related to heritage. I think it's important to recognise places throughout history of Britain that have been extremely important to the development.
Local people rallied round to cast their votes on which places should appear on the board, and voting was fast and furious.
Extremely popular so far. We've had just under 5,000 votes, I believe. We've had everything from Dudley the Donkey to the pier itself, Grimsby Minster, Fishing Heritage Centre, the Dock Tower. Blundell Park has been extremely popular as well. Extremely happy with the response.
So, with all the pieces now in place, who will we see being announced as the board's 2 leading sites? Competition is fierce, but let's hope everyone enjoys the fun. After all, it's only a game.
Still to come tonight. We ask your opinions on whether roadworks should be limited to 2-mile stretches. And we head to the East Marsh to see the results of a joint initiative to clear the streets of crime. And we have the latest in local sports news. Well, we saw there a glimpse of what's to come tomorrow, and that's a big clue as to why my guests are here. Cuddles Cat Rescue was one of the charities voted by the public to appear on the board, and Julie Burrell is with me in the studio, and she's joined by Councillor Jane Hilden-King, Deputy Leader of North East Lincolnshire Council, who'll be one of the first to play the game in the morning. Welcome both to the studio. That's so exciting for the both of you, this, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow.
I bet you are, because you're going to play it.
I'm going to play it. What an honour, goodness. I think me and the Mirror are really excited and looking forward to working with the two youngsters, Jessica and George. So looking forward to
That's brilliant. Now, Julie, you've been invited, but you can't go tomorrow, can you?
No, unfortunately, I've got work to do at the centre.
But you were gutted though, were you? Not that you're not going to be there to see.
But we've got a lady going as a stand-in, so another one of our helpers.
Yeah.
So,
now, were you surprised when you were told by the makers of the game that you had been voted by the public to appear?
Yes, very surprised. It really was. It was a bit of a shock, really.
Yeah.
Yes, brilliant.
But it is good for you. The publicity is amazing, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Have you seen any increase in people coming at all?
I mean, we have been quite busy the last few weeks, but I think time will tell once it gets out and everything.
Do you know how you're going to appear on the board at all?
I don't know. It's still
That's a surprise for you as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all exciting. I mean, Jane, for you, obviously you're going to be there tomorrow representing
yes, I am,
in your official role as a councillor. For the area, what does this actually mean?
It's fantastic news. When we were selected, I was really pleased with Monopoly for doing that. It's proud to be part of Grimsby and Cleethorpes and North East Lincolnshire. So what a way to actually come with a board, a Monopoly board. Wow.
It is. I mean, one thing I failed in my research here, I have no idea how many other towns or cities appear in these special editions. I have to say I failed. I don't know the answer, and I imagine you
No. I'm just proud that we are one of the ones that has been selected, especially this year being the 80th anniversary of Monopoly, so excellent.
I think you're on commission, Jane.
Do you know something? Well,
quick buy that board. I have to tell the viewers there are other boards out there, maybe not featuring Grimsby and Cleethorpes. But it is good, like you say.
It is good news.
People will be able to play it around the world
and
hopefully think, I want to go and actually visit Grimsby and Cleethorpes.
Well, it is special for me because I've brought along today.
You have. You've got this, haven't you?
It's almost 70 years old.
Wow.
And it was my husband's family. My husband played it as a child. We've played it as a family. My grandchildren have played with it. It's got the original wooden houses, the old type of money. So I just thought, what a way to bring it out and celebrate this year.
It is, and you'll have a nice comparison tomorrow, won't you, as well, when you've got the new board next to it as well. Obviously, from this, do you expect to see a rise in tourism in the area?
Oh, I would have thought so. I mean, I can imagine this game to go all over the world. I know that we're planning on. One's going to Yorkshire. I'm going to get one for my daughter in Yorkshire so my grandchildren can play the Grimsby game, which looks great. So I think when it goes out, people all over the world who came from Grimsby will rush out to buy it.
Exactly.
So I think this will be a worldwide game, definitely.
Will be. Julie, you got plans to put some orders in for the game?
Oh yes, definitely. I should be playing it this Christmas. Yes.
Can you imagine? That's it. Households around the world will be sat there playing the Grimsby and Cleethorpes edition.
Well, that's what we planned for Christmas morning. That's why I'm giving one to my daughter in Yorkshire.
I imagine social media to be a flood with people saying, "Oh, I got for Christmas." Yeah. Posting the pictures, won't they?
I can't wait to see what's on the board. For me, it's what's going to be on. I've got my own ideas, having the dot tower, and I don't know, for some reason I just thought Park Lane might be Park Drive. Mayfair could be Mayfair Drive. We've got two lovely areas of housing in Grimsby, but I'm excited to know what the stations are going to be. Really looking forward to it.
They have kept it very secret.
They have,
because I know the other day when they introduced us to the George and Jessica,
Yes.
there was a board under wraps, top secret on. Weren't
So,
allowed to touch it. It was
yes.
keeping an eye on the media that we didn't sneak off with that.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Nobody
Yeah.
really knows,
They don't,
do
no,
they,
no,
what's
no,
going to be
that's
on
right.
there? And like as you say, you have no idea where you're going to be.
No idea whatsoever. No.
Do you feature in the community chest, or do you have a little icon on the board?
Interesting.
It will be interesting, definitely interesting
Yes,
to
yeah.
see. Yes.
Well, all will be revealed, and you're going to stay there with me because
Yes,
we're going to talk
yes.
about the game and obviously the effect it's going to have on lots of people, not just in this area but around the world. It's all going to be exciting. I want to know tomorrow whether you and the mayor get a bit competitive.
Ooh, I've got my plans.
Stay there with us. So join me after the break when I'll continue talking to Julie and Jane, and we ask your opinions on whether roadworks should be limited to 2-mile stretches, and we'll look at the results of Operation Impact. That's all after the break. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come, we ask your opinions on whether roadworks should be limited to 2-mile stretches. We'll also look at the results of Operation Impact, and we have the latest local sports news. Well, still with me in the studio are Councillor Jane Hilden-King and Julie Burrell talking about a well-known board game which launches tomorrow. Now, we were talking before, obviously, about the effect that all this has, and obviously, Julie, the fact that you were one of the charities that have been chosen. You obviously have brought this board with you that you've played for generations in your family. Julie, do you sit round and play Monopoly as well?
It always seems to come out at Christmas.
Yeah.
It always has done throughout the years and everything. I can remember playing it when I was a child as well. So, yeah, we still keep up the tradition.
And how competitive are you in your household for this game?
Quite competitive. I can remember back to when my grandfather used to play it, but he was always the winner. It didn't matter how you played with him, he always won. Yes.
What about you, Jane?
I'm not so much
competitive?
competitive. I think when I played with grandchildren, you like them to think they're going to win. So I suppose any grandma would do the same as I've done. But it's been interesting how it's changed over the years.
Yes.
Because recently I played with my other grandson in Grimsby, and they had an electronic version.
I've never played the electronic version.
Basically, it's the board with all the houses, but we had
Right.
no cash, no money at all, and it was a cash card. And there was a machine, so you'd put in, so if you passed,
Right, yeah.
you put your card in and collected your £200 on your computer.
Brilliant.
So
Shame
there's
it
no
wasn't
money.
for real, though.
I know. Then I was competitive in that game because I wanted to get as much money. I wasn't interested in buying. It was seeing how much money I could
That's
get.
it.
So,
It brings. I mean, I remember as a child playing this. Like you say, every Christmas
Yes.
you
Yes.
play a
Same
board
out.
game. But
Yeah.
I seem to recall my father flinging the board across the room in temper if he didn't win, or he accused you of plotting against him.
Yes. Yeah.
But it does. I think it brings out a lot of elements in people.
It does.
It
A lot of tempers, especially around Christmas time. And
So that's it. Tomorrow you've got to be on your best behaviour with the mayor.
I'm going to try. I've got to be on my best behaviour, but I've been thinking how I can plot to do better. And I was thinking of actually asking Jessica and George, taking them to one side, to give me
might
some
do.
ideas.
I've done-
Because, they're probably, the youngsters got a different
well,
view
exactly,
of
and
it.
they both enjoy playing the
So
game.
I'm going to be
as
very
well.
friendly with them two tomorrow. So Jessica, George, be ready.
To say, is the mayor likely to flip the board if he doesn't win?
Oh no, the mayor is the most easygoing guy you could ever want. It is great fun, and he's got a great sense of humour. Like me, I think the two of us are going to thoroughly enjoy the game.
Well,
But
it's a
yes,
great honour
yes. Oh,
for
it's-
you all
yes,
to have been
yes.
chosen to play the first board, and obviously for Cuddles Cat Rescue to be selected on there as well, isn't
Yes,
it?
it really
Yes,
is.
yes.
And like I say, you hope publicity from this, people will come to
That's
you
right.
and help rescue more cats.
Hopefully, yes.
That's great. Well, we're nearly out of time, but That's it now. That game is going to be out there tomorrow morning,
Yes.
isn't it? And in the shops for everybody
Yes,
to buy.
yes.
And we all know, obviously, now what everybody's getting for Christmas, don't we?
Yes, there'll be a lot of disappointed children
Yes,
if they
there
don't.
will be, won't they? Monopoly balls. Well,
Yes.
thank you both for coming in.
Thank
Thank you for bringing this game in.
Thank you.
Roadworks cause motorists major grumbles, but they have to be carried out. One suggestion is that roadworks are limited to a 2-mile stretch. We took to the streets to ask your opinion on whether this is a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, good idea. Yeah. Because then there's not so much traffic jams, and plus it'll get done quicker.
Exactly, yeah. Save a lot of time for everyone, wouldn't it?
Isn't it? Because all you have to do is say they're saying to do it 2 miles, so they can get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you get tailbacks if not, with the cars and that lot, don't you, Sarah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would probably help towards not having roadblock and queues of traffic everywhere. I know it might take longer to do the roadworks, but I think the public would benefit from it in the long run.
Well, I think, you know, when you're going like the M1 at the moment, there's, 19 miles of roadway, 50 mile an hour. It's absolutely ridiculous with the amount of traffic on it. You know, it just builds up and up and up, and that's frustrating to everybody.
Yeah, I do. I think it's a brilliant idea because they're a bloody nightmare. They are, honestly. I go down to Sheffield quite a lot, and then I go to the other way. I go towards Warwickshire way, and wherever we go, it's terrible.
Not so much for me because I'm not a driver, but you can see that it frustrates drivers, you know, because there's roadworks everywhere you go and it delays everyone, people getting to work and that have to leave so much earlier, so yeah.
A week of action in Grimsby's East Marsh saw police take to the streets in a bid to clamp down on antisocial behaviour and violent crime. Operation Impact has been touted as a success, but will it lead to change in the future? We went to the East Marsh to find out.
600 hours of visibility, 29 arrests and 30,000 kilograms of removed waste. These are just some of the numbers that have come out of a week-long operation on Grimsby's East Marsh called Operation Impact, carried out by a multitude of agencies including the Council and Humberside Police.
This is where a week of action in the East Marsh of Grimsby, where partner organisations and the Humberside Police are coming together to tackle head-on issues of antisocial behaviour and criminality that are blighting the area.
It can be said that members of the public don't understand the complex way agencies like the Council and the police cooperate with each other, with members of the public complaining that problems such as antisocial behaviour never get sorted out. For the police, it's essential to rework their multi-agency partnerships and extend that to the public.
If we are going to defeat crime and make our communities safer, we need to build a big team. And in that team, yeah, we need all the public sector organisations such as Humberside Fire, but the most important members are the public. We need the public to work with us, to provide information, to be willing to report, and to help drive out crime and make life difficult for that minority of individuals that want to prey upon the community.
East Marsh Ward Councillor Steve Bazant says that the feedback from residents about Operation Impact has been good, and that problems they've been raising with him for months are finally being dealt with.
And to be honest, I really welcome it because residents have been telling me for weeks now that number one issue in the East Marsh is crime and antisocial behaviour, where a couple of years back it was dog mess, fly tipping, etc. Those issues haven't gone away, but it's just so happened that crime and antisocial behaviour has really risen up the agenda.
Councillor Bazant welcomes the results but acknowledges that spending restrictions and police cutbacks don't help the situation. He says that he's been assured that more patrols will take place in the area, but he says that a future plan is needed to stop these problems cropping up again.
Well, I've been assured, and I hope this is right, that we're going to redeploy the troops a lot more effectively. So they are listening to us, which I think is great news. They're listening to the residents, and let's hope that over the coming weeks, when they come back to us again with this operation, that we see a lot more police about. And let's hope they overcome the problems and not just stick it with a plaster, they make a permanent fix in the future, because it's desperately needed at this moment in time.
And Dave Nunn, who did that report, is with me now. Dave, is the East Marsh improved, do you think?
Well, it's hard. I think the operation only lasted a week, so it is hard to judge. I mean, the statistics that came out of the operation, over 20 arrests, they cleared up the 30,000 kilograms worth of waste. There's definitely been a limited success, but whether it will make a massive, drastic change, you can't say over the course of a week, really.
Okay, and obviously Councillor Besant and Superintendent Cook were on the sofa last week talking about it, and it seems very positive, doesn't it, on their point of view, especially Councillor Besant's.
Does, yeah. He says he's had assurances from the police that there will be additional patrols around the East Marsh. So it seems like, as he said at the end of the report, they are trying to make future-proof the problem rather than just sticking a little plaster on it and leaving it be for a short time.
That's the main thing, isn't it? Like we'd mentioned about the amount of alcohol on the streets and the shops that sell it. It's other issues, isn't it, that need addressing. But thank you ever so much for doing that, and hopefully we'll have Councillor Besant and Superintendent Cook with us. Right, now it's time for the sport. Hull City's extra allocation of tickets for Saturday's away game against Nottingham Forest have sold out. Extra tickets went on sale on Tuesday morning after the initial allocation sold out last week, and supporters keen to see whether the Tigers can make its successive away wins following a victory on the road at Cardiff quickly snapped up the extras. No tickets will be available on the day of the game, and fans are advised not to travel without a ticket. Grimsby Town midfielder Scott Brown hopes his injury problems are now behind him as he sets his sights on a return to first-team action within the coming weeks. The 30-year-old said it's now only a matter of time before he returns to first-team football after missing the first few weeks of the season with a floating bone in his ankle. A return for Brown may improve results for the Mariners. And Hull FC reflected on its proud history across Heritage Week, with thousands of supporters joining players, staff, legends and club officials across 8 days of special events. The club celebrated its 150th birthday with a whole week of activities, culminating in Sunday's Heritage game against Catalan's Dragons. And finally, dressage rider Amy Woodhead won the Potential International Dressage Horse Championship on a 4-year-old she had not ridden before the contest. The horse, Hortins Duchessa's usual rider, took a tumble before the event the other weekend and Amy stepped in. And that's it for tonight. If you've a story, contact us the usual ways. Until tomorrow, good night.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.
Hello and welcome to Estuary TV's weather. On Wednesday there'll be initial mist and fog will gradually clear by midday, leaving dry conditions with sunny spells, maximum temperatures of 16 degrees. On Thursday it'll be dry with light winds and sunny or clear spells, patchy mist and fog forming overnight.
Estuary TV weather, sponsored by Grimsby Institute for a brighter future.